Hello, and welcome to my Aquatic Liberator deck profile as of EX11. Starting us off strong, we're going to have our egg, which will be 4 copies of BT22 puyoyomon, just letting you draw every time you put in a source. Incredibly handy. Moving on to the rookies, we're going to have 4 copies of BT19 Sangomon for the search power and the memory gain. We're going to have 4 copies of BT21 Sangomon for his reduced digivolution cost and the gain memory. Then we're going to have 2 copies of the new EX11 Sangomon with his wind moving, draw 1 if you have 7 or fewer. And then we're going to have 2 copies of the BT22 Sangomon with his jamming inheritable and his ability to give blocker. Moving on to the champions, level 4s. We're going to have 3 copies of BT22 Shellmon. Just phenomenal effect, decode really strong. We're going to have 2 copies of the BT19 Shellmon. Playing out our Yaos is pretty important. And then moving on, we're going to have 2 copies of the Promo Shellmon, just being able to draw more cards, come in clutch many a time. Then, for our non-Liberator level 4s, we're going to have 2 copies of BT15 Seadramon with Rush, so that way when we play him out via decode or other effects, we can rush for that last check. And 2 copies of BT18 Lanamon, just being able for some more search, and being able to potentially digi on top of your tamers to hit for that last swing. This won me a few games. Moving on to our level 5s, we're going to have 3 copies of the BT22 MarineBullmon for that hand warp effect. 3 copies of the BT19 MarineBullmon for its source slotting ability. And 2 copies of the BT24 SkullSeadramon, just being a good inherent of letting you get some more swings. Trashing sources is come in handy, and on deletion playing out your Rush Seadramon has, again, won me some games. Moving on to our level 6s, we're going to have 2 copies of the BT22 Ryugumon for that stunning capability, and 3 copies of the EX11 Ryugumon, just being a OTK piece. And honestly, I've OTK'd with him on his own pretty often. And finally, our level 7s are just going to be 3 copies of the BT22 Ariemon. Just goes without saying, phenomenal piece, OTKing, swinging, playing out all your bodies, really handy. Moving on to our option cards, we just have 4 copies of our unique Emblem, Poseidia Lagoon. Just being able to play out your Sangomons, your Tamers, letting you climb up your Digi ranks. And now for the Tamers. We are running 1 copy of the Promo Yao for that +1 memory and slightly reduced digivolution costs. 2 copies of the BT22 Yao for her draw 1 being super easy to trigger and letting us play out our more expensive Yaos. 2 copies of the new EX11 Yao, who is really nice, just more memory, slotting sources, drawing cards, and potential stun. And then finally, 2 copies of the BT19 Memory Setter Yao, just swinging and letting you slot in more sources. Phenomenal piece. And that was my Aquatic Liberator fish deck. I hope you all enjoyed, and catch you next time.